It is the middle of the Second World War, and the year is 1944. Across Europe, the sky itself has become a battlefield. Day after day, massive formations of Allied bombers rise from airfields in England and sweep eastward in long, disciplined streams. Their targets are no longer random cities meant to break morale, but the very arteries of Germany's war machine: synthetic fuel plants, refineries, factories, rail junctions, and supply hubs. Every successful strike tightens the noose, starving tanks, aircraft, and vehicles of the fuel they need to fight. For those on the ground in Germany, the sound of distant engines has become a kind of grim clock, marking the hours until destruction arrives once more from above. Near Leipzig, at Brandis Air Base, the tension is constant and unrelenting. Sirens echo across the concrete, sometimes real, sometimes drills, but always raising the same question in every man's mind. Is this the one? Mechanics, officers, and pilots live with the knowledge that at any moment, the sky could darken with enemy aircraft. Among the fighters waiting on the runway is one of the strangest and most dangerous machines ever built, the Messerschmitt Me 163 Komet. This aircraft does not resemble the sleek fighters that dominate the skies elsewhere. It has no propeller, no long wings, and no ability to loiter or patrol. It is a rocket-powered interceptor, designed for a single brutal task: to climb faster than anything ever flown, smash into the bomber formations at unimaginable speed, and then glide back to Earth before its fuel runs out or its pilot is killed. If you enjoy deep, detailed aviation history like this, stories that go beyond simple facts and place you inside the cockpit and the moment itself, make sure to subscribe, like, and share this video. Doing so helps support more long-form historical storytelling and ensures that rare and often overlooked chapters of the Second World War continue to be explored and remembered. Among the men assigned to this extraordinary aircraft is Hauptmann Wolfgang Späte. He is not a reckless novice, nor a blind believer in miracle weapons. He understands exactly what the Me 163 represents, both its revolutionary promise and its horrifying risks. Walking across the concrete at Brandis Air Base, Späte breathes in the sharp chemical smell that hangs around the Komets. The fuel alone makes the aircraft infamous. The two propellants it carries ignite on contact with each other and can burn through flesh, bone, and metal alike. A spill, a leak, or a rough landing can be fatal. Ground crews move with extreme caution, wearing protective gear and following procedures that leave no room for error. Even standing near the aircraft is dangerous. Flying it is something else entirely. The Me 163 itself looks almost unreal, small and compact. With stubby wings and a smooth, bullet-like fuselage, it resembles a piloted missile more than a traditional fighter aircraft. There is no conventional landing gear, only a jettisonable takeoff dolly and a retractable skid for landing. Everything about the design reflects its singular purpose: speed and climb rate at any cost. Endurance is measured in minutes. Combat time is counted in seconds. Survival depends on precision, timing, and luck. When the alert finally comes, there is no hesitation. Späte climbs into the cramped cockpit, surrounded by bare metal, tightly packed gauges, and minimal protection. There is no armor to speak of, no space to move. Once the canopy closes, he is sealed inside a machine that offers no second chances. Moments later, the engine ignites. The effect is immediate and violent. Unlike the steady acceleration of piston engine fighters, the Komet launches forward with brutal force. Späte is slammed back into his seat as the aircraft hurtles down the runway, faster than any conventional aircraft could ever hope to accelerate. In seconds, the Me 163 lifts off and pitches upward at an almost vertical angle. The climb is staggering. The airspeed indicator races past 400 miles per hour as the ground drops away beneath him. Fields, forests, and buildings shrink rapidly, becoming a patchwork far below. The G-forces press heavily on Späte's body, making movement difficult, vision narrowing slightly under the strain. The aircraft feels less like a plane and more like a rocket fired straight into the sky. The climb lasts only a short time, but it is overwhelming. Then, almost suddenly, the clouds fall away. Späte bursts into clear blue sky and blinding sunlight. The roar of the rocket fades as he throttles back to conserve fuel. Silence replaces violence, broken only by the whisper of air rushing over the airframe. For a brief moment, there is calm. Then he looks ahead, and the calm vanishes. Stretching across the sky is a sight that few pilots ever forget. An immense Allied formation fills the horizon. hundreds upon hundreds of aircraft flying in tight, disciplined formations. B-17, flying fortresses dominate the scene, their silver shapes gleaming in the sunlight, surrounded by swarms of escort fighters. The scale is almost impossible to comprehend. Nearly 2,000 aircraft moving as one, advancing toward their targets with relentless determination. Against such numbers, even the fastest aircraft in the world feels very small. The Komets do not fly together. There is no formation to maintain, no mutual protection. Each pilot selects a target and attacks alone. Speed is their only defense. Späte rolls his aircraft into position for the attack profile the Me-163 was built for, a high-speed dive through the bomber stream. He pushes the nose down, and the world seems to rush toward him. The bombers swell rapidly in his windscreen, growing from distant shapes into massive, detailed forms in mere seconds. The speed difference is so extreme that it feels as if the bombers are standing still. He lines up his sights and fires. The twin 30mm cannons thunder, sending heavy shells tearing into the formation. A bomber's wing is struck, metal ripping apart as debris spins away into open sky. For an instant, it looks like a fatal hit. Then Späte flashes beneath the formation and is gone, diving away at incredible speed, beyond the reach of defensive gunfire. But the victory is incomplete. As he pulls away, he sees bomb bay doors opening across the formation. Dark shapes tumble downward, followed seconds later by towering explosions on the ground. Thick columns of smoke rise from the fuel plants below, marking yet another successful strike by the Allied bombers. The Me-163 has struck hard, but it has not struck enough. Späte still has fuel. He still has time, barely, for another attack. Wounded bombers trail behind the main formation, damaged, but still airborne. They are tempting targets. He turns back, gliding silently beneath the bombers, engine throttled down to preserve every remaining second of flight time. The massive shapes loom above him, filling the sky, their defensive guns searching constantly for threats. If this story has captured your attention so far, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Supporting the channel helps bring more immersive, detailed World War II aviation stories like this to life and keeps future episodes coming. When Späte reignites the rocket, the acceleration is even more savage than before. The Me-163 lunges forward, pushing close to 600 miles per hour as it climbs from below into the bomber formation. But this time, the defenders are ready. A ball turret beneath a B-17 swings smoothly into position, and streams of tracer fire reach out toward the oncoming Komet. Späte holds his course, committed to the attack. He fires again, shells ripping into the underside of the bomber. Then everything changes in an instant. A sharp impact shatters the canopy. Fragments spray into the cockpit, cutting Späte above the eye. Pain flashes through his head, but the injury itself is not what terrifies him. The bullet continues through the cockpit, punching through the armor plate behind his seat and into the fuel tank. In that moment, his confidence in the aircraft vanishes completely. The Me-163's fuels are infamous for a reason. They are hypergolic, igniting on contact, and capable of melting flesh and metal alike. A leaking tank is a death sentence. Späte dives away from the formation, desperate to escape before the aircraft ignites. Tracers streak past him, but in seconds, he is clear of the bombers. He knows he must be ready to abandon the aircraft at any moment. Calmly, deliberately, he reaches for the canopy release. It does not move. The wind pressure at this speed holds the canopy firmly shut. Späte strains against it, muscles screaming as precious seconds tick by. Panic begins to creep in. Unknown to him, a P-51 Mustang pilot has been watching the damaged Komet from a distance. The American fighter slides in behind, its 6 .50 caliber machine guns lining up on the small winged rocket. Späte pushes the nose down, trying to dive away, but the rocket has nothing left to give. The engine is silent. He looks over his shoulder and sees the Mustang turning back toward him. The American opens fire. Bullets tear into the Me-163, ripping panels away, exposing the machinery beneath. Then the worst happens. Fuel vapors ignite. Flames crawl along the underside of the aircraft as it plunges toward the ground. Späte knows this is his last chance. He pulls up hard, bleeding off speed, fighting both gravity and fear. The aircraft shudders, the flames licking closer. At last, the pressure eases. The canopy loosens. He pushes again and it swings open. Without hesitation, he bails out. The rush of air is violent and disorienting, but seconds later, the parachute opens, snapping him into sudden, blessed stillness. Below him, the Me-163 continues its dive, burning fiercely until it strikes the ground and disappears in a violent explosion. As Späte drifts downward, the battle continues around him. Other comets streak through the sky, some escaping, others destroyed. The Allied bombers turn for home. Damaged but victorious, their mission accomplished. For all its incredible speed and terrifying power, the Me-163 could not stop them. After the war, pilots like Wolfgang Späte would survive to tell their stories. The Me-163 Komet would pass into legend, remembered as the fastest aircraft of the Second World War and the only rocket-powered fighter ever to see combat. It proved that speed alone is not enough, and that revolutionary technology, without practicality and safety, cannot change the course of war. The Komet was both a marvel and a warning, a glimpse of the future born from desperation. In the next video, we will explore the aircraft that finally solved the problem the Komet could not. An aircraft that combined speed, endurance, and practicality through jet power, forever changing air combat and marking the true beginning of the modern age of aviation.